Hello, world. Hello, internet. Hi. Welcome to Explorers of Elsewhere Live. My name is DM Dan, and tonight, on this auspicious night, I am joined by Livy.
Hello.
By Fia.
Hello.
By Nate.
Hello.
By Georgia.
Hello.
By Tim.
Hello.
Hello. And by you, dearest and most loving viewer. We have returned for the 15th episode of our campaign, the beginning of Act 3, the final act of the third campaign in the Elsewhere series, the Titan Isles. We, in episode 14, did quite a lot. We accomplished a fair amount. It has been supposed that we accomplished quite a lot, but yeah, we are kind of jumping back into it. You had a little week off while we discussed everything that kind of happened towards the tail end of Act 2. Yeah, there were some big revelations, some big developments, and now we are on the home stretch. So, before we crack on, if you enjoy this video, if you enjoy the idea of this party of brave heroes punching not one but two gods in the shin, then you should give this a like. You should give us a little subscribey on YouTube, a little followy on Twitch, and also join us in our Discord. The links is in the description. If you want to see just more stuff in general, we have a membership system on YouTube. We have a Patreon on Patreon, and that will give you access to more kind of exclusive member stuff. But even just the free access to the Discord gives you new things that you wouldn't see normally. So Nate recently ran a two-shot using the new version 1.5 void playtest Daggerheart stuff, a two-shot called Bad Lads, and also the first of a number of sort of like not behind the scenes, like supplementary conversations between characters just to help kind of color everything. Yeah, you shouldn't miss it. You should treat yourself, you know? You should treat yourself. Speaking of treating yourself, if you want to learn how to play Daggerheart or pretty much any other TTRPG under the sun, we also have an affiliate link to DriveThruRPG that will flash up on screen periodically, and it doesn't cost you any extra to buy the rules from DriveThruRPG, but it does help us out massively because we get a little bit of a kickback, which is always nice, as we are saving up for a bombastic finale of descriptions that will yet to be looked in. But yes, anyway, right, enough rambling from me. You've punched one god in the shin, and now you need to sit down and think about what you've done. Who wants to jump into it?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Nate, and I'll be playing Griffin, a Sanguivar bard.
Hi, I'm Livy, and I'm playing Abe, the Guardian Keeper.
Hello, my name is Theo, and I'll be playing Cooper, a Dragon Scent rogue.
Hi, my name is Georgia, and I'll be playing Cassandra, an Asavar sorcerer.
Hi, I'm Tim, and I'm playing Guardi, Majani Druid.
And my name is DM Dan, the Games Master in this adventure. There are moments when the weight of the world feels unbearable, when every step forward is met with resistance and the path ahead seems to twist into realms of impossibility. Yet, to give up is not to abandon just the goal, but all those who look up to you with quiet hope. Sometimes we need to remember why we began the journey at all, why we take up the burden in the first place. A glance at those who cannot fight for themselves, the people or places whose futures hang by a fragile thread. Their faith becomes a spark against our despair, the steadying hand when doubt would have us fall. The peoples of the Titan Isles have suffered greatly over the past few days, and yet they endure. Gathered in the small town of Dawlishal, which suffers still from the recent devastation inflicted by the machinations of Ekso Draven, there are a number of brave souls who speak of recent victories. The fury of the world spirit, Pfizer, the mother of frost, has been quelled, her infection seemingly cleansed. In the light of success, not even Ekso's all-consuming crusade can eclipse a simple truth. Some things must be fought for, no matter the cost. And so, we find the five of you gathered in the streets of Dawlishal. Arguably back on the streets where it all started. There is a certain calm that has descended across the town since you were last here. The last time you were here being in the immediate aftermath of Ekso's attack, which saw the portal to Avamore, the capital of the rediscovered world, destroyed in a cataclysmic explosion that leveled a upsettingly large area of the town, leaving behind little more than a smoking crater. In the moments after that, thanks to the efforts of Gardy, the crater now teems with verdant and abundant life, a product of Gardy's healing field interacting with the heightened levels of primal mana released by Ekso's death burst. It's only been about a day and a half since you last left Dawlishal, but even in those hours, the townsfolk have been busying themselves recovering from the carnage of Ekso's arrival. And so where once there was panic and confusion and dismay, now there is a grim determination, a quiet, a firm feeling of solace as they go about rebuilding. And so, whereabouts in the town of Dawlishal do we find the five of you?
I mean, who's now in charge? I suppose it's
Me.
Pirate Queen?
No.
Well, that is certainly a question that needs some sort of answer.
Many people are dead or disappeared.
Yes.
So
So
we no longer have a mayor.
many have lost their lives to recent events. So I suppose I should say that the five of you are gathered, awaiting to join into what is fundamentally being considered a council of the Titan Isles. You know that the surviving leadership of Dawlishal, the surviving / present leadership of Dawlishal, so that being the innkeeper, if you will, of the Wayward Peregrine, Matteo, Brevetti, Montague Skew, the harbour master, Shayla, the shrine tender of the sailor's Sanctum, is around. You have seen that the pirate vessel, so the large, enormous kind of ironclad pirate vessel that you now know belongs to Pirate Queen Elismira, that has been sighted docked in dockside. You know if Elismira is here, then the chances are that her second in command, Bosun Grinner, is in attendance as well. Those not in attendance are Thaniel Hastings, who was slain during Ekso's attack, and Maya Coraline, who you last saw being spirited away by the creature you now know to be called the Hamadryder, in the aftermath of your defeat of Pfizer. But you also now know is in fact whatever the expeditioneer that originally founded Dawlishal, the adventurer that lost his life during the initial expedition that would go on to found this town, risen in his name. So, Abe, perhaps I can only assume there's a bit of a flutter in your chest, as adjoining you for this council meeting is also Brynja from the village of Riceville. So the people in power, such as they are present. But from Dawlishal directly, there is a bit of a vacuum right now because Coraline is gone, Captain Hastings is gone. You're left with a harbour master and a tavern keeper and a shrine tender. So, with that in mind, the large crater that's evidence of Ekso's devastation, the destruction of the portal, now lies as a concave. Like the crater is now filled with this kind of lush greenery. If it weren't for the chunks of rubble emerging from the foliage, from the sort of like the grass cover, from the plants, if it weren't for the relatively steady stream of people still kind of sifting through rubble to look for, well, they're not survivors anymore. If it weren't for the coming and going of Merle, the gravekeeper, with his cart to take people up to bury them just above Little Prairie to the southeast, you wouldn't know perhaps that this crater has such a violent immediate history. But thanks to Gardy's efforts, there is an undeniable beauty to it all. Yeah. Who do you reckon is in? Is there anyone else that you can think of that might be in attendance? Anyone you'd hope is there? I think I've got most of them, to be fair.
We've got most of our
Like,
NPCs in that room.
The ones we want there.
Are the snadgers present?
Unfortunately, the lone snadger has yet to be found. Soon there'll be a one shot for that lone snadger.
We all
How he got
play
back
the
home.
snadger collectively.
Homeward bound.
Yeah, is it Homeward Bound? Yeah, is it going to be a three shot Homeward
Talking
Bound?
snadger. Amazing. I have a question. So when the attack happened, two people from Avamore came in and helped ferrying people in. Did they end up staying or did they go home? Because it would be good to have a representative of Avamore here, if
Sure.
possible. But if not, then that makes sense.
So
They went
you, obviously, because you met a bit of a sticky fate in that moment.
Yes, I would
Cooper,
remember. Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. 2 portal guards from Avamore's concourse. They arrived through the portal and helped to kind of ferry the remaining, what was left of the fleeing civilians. But by all accounts, they were present. They were stood next to the portal when
they're good.
Ekso exploded. So yeah, realistically, Dawlishal is alone.
Okay, cool.
Beyond the pirates, beyond Rice Filnar.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. Well, yeah. So it sounds like we know who's kind of in attendance. Is there anywhere in particular that you would like it to be hosted at? I mean, the Sailor's Sanctum has a beautiful crater-side view.
I think it makes it because obviously the town hall's been exploded. Yeah. I think the Bountiful Parley is probably a little not quite the. Or you got 2 places. We've got Sailor's Sanctum, or we can go to the pub.
I think Sailor's Sanctum makes the most sense because I think looking out upon the devastation is always like I say devastation. What has been left behind feels like important for the context of the conversation.
To remind everyone why we're here.
Yeah.
Okay. In which case, the Sailor's Sanctum, which not 48 hours ago was being used as a field hospital, has now largely kind of been returned to like normal. Like the critically wounded have been sort of like dealt with one way or another, and you've heard from sort of like passing townsfolk that you're like those who are still needing kind of medical attention, either physical, magical, or emotional. They are now kind of being looked like the people, the survivors of the attack, have fundamentally opened their doors to allow the wounded in. So people's homes are being used as kind of makeshift hospitals to give people areas to rest. Perhaps, surprisingly, the sort of like the nobles of Moundside in the southwest of the town, even they have opened up their doors to the wounded. Where they have the room and the supplies to help where they can. So you find yourself in a town that, in the face of like despair, have banded together as one. But yeah, in the Sailor's Sanctum, there are then the 5 of you, Elismira, Brynja, Bossungrina, Matteo, and Montague, and Shayla as the Sanctum's owner. As you kind of take your seats, the sort of like the driftwood style pews have just kind of been rearranged into a bit of a circle that faces inwards, so you can all sort of like regard each other as you speak. Who is there any one in particular who kind of catches your eye? Bit of
what other than Shayla?
yes. I mean, Shayla always brings light to the room. How do the 5 of you collectively feel as you see like arriving, still kind of decked out in her, in inverted commas, battle regalia? But yeah, how do you feel, Cooper, when Pirate Queen Elismira arrives?
I think Cooper doesn't feel anything, actually. Nothing at all. Just another person, part of the council.
Cold. Okay. I mean, in which case, you notice that Matteo and Montague, I think Montague more so, this kind of tiny, sort of like waif of a man boy. Like he's very young in this in the grand scheme of things, and it's whilst he does a fantastic job as being harbour master, clearly the past few days have taken a toll on him. But you watch him sort of like nervously adjust his like wide rimmed glasses as Elismira enters into the shrine. And like Matteo just kind of gives her a nod. And yeah, everyone takes their seats. If no one, does anyone want to start proceedings, or are you happy to let Shayla kick things off?
Let Shayla do it.
Okay. In which case, Shayla stands up. Always the curious contradiction of the robes, like the vestments of Renangar, the Sky Warden, being worn over a body covered in like traditional like pirate tattoos and body art that kind of belie Shayla's previous life before she became a priestess of the Sky Watcher. Thank you, everyone, for coming here. It is good to see some new faces, she says, and she turns to regard Brynja, your daughter, Abe, who sits. You've noticed that Brynja, despite kind of having been invited to Dawlishal, she's sat a little bit away. She's kind of she's the most separated from the rest of the group, and her large kind of green furred feline beast just sort of like it's resting its chin on its paws as it lays on the wooden floor, but you could notice that it's on edge. The ears are slightly flattened, the tail flicks ever so slightly, and that kind of attitude, that feeling, seemingly is also emanating off Brynja as well. It's clear she feels a bit out of her depth. I'm glad that you could all make it here, Shayla continues. Since the attack on Dawlishal, there have been a number of developments, mostly in thanks to these heroes, she says, gestures to the five of you. I understand that through your efforts, you have dealt with the threat posed by Pfizer to the west of the island. Is there anything of note that you feel we should know before we carry on? She says as she looks to the five of you. And I think of note, because you've all separately hounded me. Get out the rulebook. Is all of the loot.
Yay!
We're just clutching it as we sit wherever we're sitting.
Nothing else.
I'll tell you what's of note.
My brand new cloak. That's what note.
The five of you dressed like kings.
We had a very uneventful time.
Hello, welcome, Witchlight. Welcome along.
Pfizer was secretly a sugar mummy. Look at all these things that she gave us.
So, yes, loot. So, off the back of your trek through Pfizer's lair, you managed to acquire a total of 8d12 worth of loot. So we know that there are loot table. There's a loot table in a couple of loot tables in the Daggerheart rulebook, and the loot runs from 1 to 60, and you can choose to roll up to 5 dice at a time. And obviously, the more dice you roll, hopefully the higher number you'll get, and the higher the number, the rarer the loot. Now, in addition, during our Titan talk last week, we had a very, very generous super chat donation, and that has allowed us to, I believe we said we can sort of like we roll as long as it is a 5d12 roll, you fundamentally get a reroll. If you want it. So
I believe it was the impeccable fantasy animal vegan who
that
bestowed
was
this on us.
fantasy animal vegan. Yes,
Glorious dice.
Thank you. So with that in mind, we have 8d6, and I'm hoping you're going to use 8d12. Beg your pardon. I'm hoping you're going to use 5d12 to proc fantasy animal vegans reroll. So there is a loot table and there is a consumable table. So let's start with the 5d12. What would you collectively like to roll for? Loot, which is like a more like an item, is a bit more permanent, or consumables, which are more, generally speaking, have more oomph, but obviously one and done.
So, just thinking about it, it's 8 loot. There are 4 of us. There are 2 tables. Is that right, or am I wrong?
Well, so you've got 8d12, but we're sliding 5 of those to the super draw. Yeah, so you got 3 left.
Sure.
Okay. Would you like a 5d12 loot and a 3d12 consumable?
I think so. Yeah. I think that makes sense. That's what I was thinking.
Okay. Here's the idea. If I roll, this would be a terrible idea. Who wants to roll for the 3d12?
Who's the luckiest of us?
Go on, Nate. Right, so we're rolling 3d12. We're checking the consumables list, and then I can drop that loot into whoever's baggy.
Let's go.
Yes, loot, yes.
11.
An 11.
Oh,
11.
11 is a good number, though.
11 is a good number.
That's actually quite useful, that one.
Is it like an anti-fire?
Is it?
You wish. That was 12.
Just
Is it make
12.
man small?
You have
Little Ekso.
So as you thinking back to your rummage through Pfizer's lair, from one of the loot containers you found there, you have acquired a why aren't you sharing? Consumable. Don't I hold.
Suspense.
A vial of moon drip.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
When you drink the contents of this vial, you can see in total darkness until your next rest.
Oh.
So full-blown night vision.
Nice.
and it's permanent if you never sleep again.
We only like long rest once.
We don't do long rests, so
let's go.
Exactly. Okay, so you've got a vial of moon drip. That's one thing that you found. I think, just to get everyone involved, 5d12. It's 5 of you.
Oh.
Everyone roll a d12, and then I will frantically add up the numbers.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
And then
So you got 3.
By our powers combined.
a 3, a 6.
Come on, guys, these aren't good powers.
These aren't good powers at all.
3.
Come on, Theo.
I think we should disband this group, guys. I don't know if it's...
We've got to reroll.
Okay,
We've got to reroll.
9, 17, 19, 27 by my reckoning. So that is, and we'll get to reroll if you want. 27 is
Something that helps you see in the dark.
Vial of Moonshine.
You found. Here's the thing. Like, here's the thing about random tables. You're like, why was this in Pfizer's lair? You have found a. Have I got it? No, not yet. Just why? You have found a glider.
I mean,
We'll probably re-roll. We've got somebody that can teleport and fly.
While falling, you can mark a stress to deploy this small parachute and glide safely to the ground.
Gonna be
Why
so
did
useful.
last session.
Yeah, they're benefit for while we're on Pfizer's head.
Why Pfizer had a parachute, I don't know. Would you like to re-roll?
Yes,
Yes. Okay, everyone roll D12 again.
I'm just picturing a Pfizer-sized parachute as well.
Just a really big one. Maybe that was her hobby. She went
I like
paragliding
one
on
of
the
those ones
weekends.
that you can run under when you're a kid.
Yeah, I was going to think like one of those rainbow ones from school.
Yeah.
One.
Okay, those numbers look higher. So 4, 5, 13, 22, 24. Oh my god, if you roll glider again.
Glider.
Glider.
2 gliders.
This is what you're getting.
Okay, so 24. What is the average of 13,
30-ish, I think.
26? Everyone roll again. Just roll better.
All right.
I rolled a 9. I thought that was pretty good.
I rolled
10.
10.
That's a good
10.
start.
Nice.
It's a good start. More of that.
8.
10,
Yeah.
I have a 9.
6, 9, 8, 3.
I've done it.
9, 9, 8,
10.
9, 3. Yeah, we
So
got
10,
good.
13, 21, 30, 36. There we go. We got over half odds.
Me.
Is it a
Wheel
wheelbarrow?
glider.
You found. Because I cannot argue for even more rerolls after this one.
We don't need him because we've got the best item.
That sounded
Yeah,
gay.
you saw what it made me do. Right, you have discovered in Pfizer's lair, and I'm.
Sounds like one of those like campfire games. I discovered in Pfizer's lair, beginning with A.
Portal seed.
Oh, let's go back to Avamore.
Oh, bye.
You can plant this seed in the ground to grow a portal in that spot. The portal is ready to use in 24 hours. You can use this portal to travel to any other location where you planted a portal seed. We'll put an asterisk on that. A portal can be destroyed by dealing any amount of magic damage to it,
Can we have
aka
2 portal seeds, please?
Ekso exploding. I reckon,
It was a pouch of portal seeds.
I would argue this portal seed, once the portal has grown, for all intents and purposes, it can then be used to be linked to other portals. So, given that there is a capital city full of portals, you'll be at this seed has, for all intents and purposes, in 24 hours, Dawlishal will be reconnected to Avamore. If
Nice.
that is where you want to reconnect to.
Could do.
Could you
go somewhere
argue kind of lore-wise that it senses the portal magic that used to be where the portal was that got destroyed, so it can link to that?
Ooh.
I reckon so. So, between the 5 of you, I suspect perhaps this is in the hands of Gardy, that there is you are holding this large. I imagine it's almost like large bird eggs. What are you giggling about? This seed is the size of like a large egg, and it's You notice that it's got.
Would you say it's about the size of a tangerine?
You could say.
You could
A
say.
seed.
It's a size. It's a tangerine.
Okay. Just want to clarify.
just to clarify.
Just want to travel very large distances using magical portals.
So, Gardy, you are holding a portal seed. So I guess if nothing else, you are holding the hope of deliverance in your hands for this town.
No pressure.
The question of how do we get back in touch with Avamore has seemingly been answered by this loot table.
By the loot table.
Yeah.
And also a large amount of money that they need to give us before we show them the seed.
Of course. Are we sure we don't want the glider?
It's gliding to Avamore.
Salvation or parachute?
Salvation or wee.
So yeah, Gardy, what's your pitch? Have you got anything to say for yourself holding this seed?
I don't know if I have much more to add, really. I mean, yeah, it's clear the course to be taken. Fingers crossed, given all of the weird nature magic nonsense in the big crater, might get us sorted out nice and quick.
Okay. Okay. In which case, as you explain, so Gardy, I mean, you would have had time coming back from Pfizer's lair to here, via Rice Vilnar, via sort of like the boats. So the five of you would have been sailed back from Rice Vilnar by the keepers of the village. So yeah, you would have had enough time to kind of analyze and kind of figure out what this seed is, and realizing that it holds like this innate, you've heard, perhaps you even, well, I guess the question would be if you have seen it or not, but have you heard or experienced tree porting, where natural magical kind of glades would have space, the plant life would act as kind of natural portals?
Well, some would say that on my level up, I just learnt Rift Walker. So I've actually just had a crash course in portals.
Spicy.
Potentially, I don't know, maybe freeing Pfizer from impalement has given me an extra little surge of magic nonsense.
Sure. Okay. I mean, yeah. In which case, you have this fully functioning portal in your hands. It just needs time to grow. And I mean, I would argue that given that the center point of the crater that you are all sat on the side of, given that the center of that crater was once the portal to Avamore. I mean, Gardy, looking over this healing field that I guess you almost, you almost accidentally kind of created this large kind of green space, like about 150-ish feet across. It's quite large. No, it's 1,500 feet across. So yeah, you can feel the still lingering presence of the primal magic that kind of radiates out from here. And in the time that you've been in Dawlishal, since you've arrived back in Dawlishal, I should say, you've also seen that there are some people with more sort of like minor or superficial injuries that have been discovered, and they're simply sort of like spending time in the crater, like they're touching grass, but the natural magics that are kind of loitering in this area are healing these kind of superficial wounds just naturally or supernaturally, I guess. So yeah, planting this portal seed in the crater would certainly be like a perfect place to plant it.
Cool. Yeah, I'll get it plopped in there as soon as reasonably possible.
Okay. Elismira pipes up and says, so talk us through, is there anything you've learned since your encounter with Pfizer that we should be appraised of?
Yeah, he just looks at Cooper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think everyone's staring at Cooper.
just all of us turn on the pew.
I think Cass gently taps him to make him stand.
I imagine to Cass gentle was like,
tip the chair forward.
Okay. So Cooper stands up. He whilst he is quite confident usually in himself, he's quite shy. He is surrounded by quite a few people. Takes a breath. Look, I don't know everything, but I can tell you what I have come to understand in the last day and a half. I don't know how this has happened, but it turns out that Ekso and I are connected by the sundered dragon, Kerthotha. I think perhaps I'm connected to her through my heritage. I don't know. I can't tell you anything about that. But what I can tell you is that Ekso also worshipped her at some point, and because of that, there's now this link, which means that he was baiting me one evening, and I'm able to kind of see through him, which means now I understand that while we were trying to help Pfizer, he went for Burunan. And as far as my understanding goes, because it's very hard to tell, but it makes sense, as we were helping Pfizer, he went for Burunan, and I saw that God's heart in his hands, and his hands tremble a little. So I don't know how he's managed to do that on his own. It was hard enough fighting Pfizer on our own. Either way, he has been able to kill a Titan on his own and now has that power of a Titan. So it's going to be a mammoth task, whatever we do next. But we're going to have to do it. We can't let him do this again. And he gestures out to the grass and the healing.
Suffice to say, when you utter the words, he has killed a Titan, the shrine is filled with the sounds of sort of like quite like murmuring and concerned whispers between Matteo, Montague, Shayla, the pirates. And I think, Abe, you'll probably want to notice that the only person that doesn't look surprised is Brynja. And Cooper, as you finish, she clears her throat and sort of like leans forward in the pew she sat in, and I can confirm what Cooper has said. We have only recently begun recommuning with the spirits in an attempt to ascertain why they are thrashing and raging like wild beasts. But I have sent scouts when we noticed that the communion with Buru Nun had stopped. And they report there is a flame to the northeast that is spreading. And if we do not act soon, what we thought was Buru Nun's flame, but now we understand may well be Ekso's flame, will consume the Isles. And Dawlishal will not be able to withstand Ekso returning for a second time. I fear if we do not stop Ekso, we will not have the 24 hours required for that seed to take root. And Brynja sort of like looks around and sees I can only imagine a sea of faces that don't look overly infused, and she sort of like sits back in her seat. Elismira is sort of like peering at you, Cooper. Like she's like leaning forward. She's got her knees on her elbows on her knees, like she's resting her chin on her fist. And you say you have this connection with Ekso. Are you able to control where or when you're able to see through his eyes?
I haven't tried. Honestly, it's freaked me out quite a bit. But I'd be willing to try. My concern is not only that, but if he can see through mine. And that's scared me more than anything else. I'm not a magic user. This is very new to me.
Elismira kind of nods. You notice she looks somewhat alarmed when you mention that you're worried that he can see through your eyes. And as she sort of like holds you with this long stare, Montague pipes up. Do we know what is the current situation with Pfizer? How you say that she was cleansed, but do you know what has come of her since?
I'm afraid I don't. We had to rush. The ice was coming down on us. We had to leave quickly. I looked to the others. I don't know if we can try to commune with her and maybe.
Brynja turns her head to you, Gardy. Have you been able to commune with Pfizer since?
Have I been able to commune with Pfizer since?
Well, I guess the question for Gardy is, would you have attempted to?
Cass would
for
want
sure.
him dry.
She's crawling out of the rubble. She's just like, talk to her.
Get back in that ground.
Back in the hole, Gardy.
Would you have reached out to Pfizer?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
And probably Brunan as well.
Okay. Perhaps worryingly, or certainly worryingly, reaching out to Burunan, perhaps a bit of a Hail Mary. Based off what Cooper has discussed, you feel you already know the fate of Burunan at the hands of Ekso.
I mean, he's just hoping that it's wrong.
There was no response. So, like, as you were kind of in inverted commas communing with the Isle, using your sort of like spirit speaker kind of experiences, there was no response from Burunan. Perhaps more worryingly, there was as little response from Pfizer. The Titans have gone quiet. But yeah, as you kind of mull on this, like Brynju is in the present, Brynju is looking at you imploringly.
Well, you've reached out, but nothing from either. I do believe that Brunan may have been consumed now. Perhaps is beyond saving. I can only hope that Pfizer is perhaps recuperating beneath the earth. But I think I would feel it if they were both gone, but I don't know.
As you mentioned that, Montague just sort of like slumps back in his seat slightly, and he sort of like he's running it, like rubbing his eyes with his fingers, and I just don't know what can we do? How to fight? I can't help but feel like to fight Ekso directly would be tantamount to suicide at this point. If he is as powerful as you suggest he is, I just don't know what to do. And Gardy, as you kind of watch Montague have this sort of like crisis on the other side of the council circle, you, Cass, and Griffin, you all feel the hairs on the back of your neck rise, like stand up. And the three of you very quick to acknowledge where you felt this sensation before. And you turn your attentions like westwards towards the crater. And surrounded by a flurry of foliage, leaves, flower petals that are sort of disappearing off into the sea breeze, you see a silhouette of a creature approximately 9 foot tall, skin seemingly made of bark and root and vine. The large wing-like leaf that protrudes from the Hamadryder's back, now draping over one shoulder like a cloak. And as the five of you peer over at the Hamadryder who has appeared in the crater of Dawlishal, you notice that in one of its 4 hands is what appears to be a chunk of floating bark, upon which lies a bed of flowers, upon which lies the prone form of Coraline. And the Hamadryder looks up to the 5 of you and, like, surrounded by a chorus of Dawlishal commoners that have just sort of, like, panicked because this creature has just emerged in the centre of town. But the Hamadryder looks up at you longingly, almost, and then slowly begins to climb up the side of the crater, pulling this floating piece of bark, carrying Coraline along with it. And arriving, like, as well, you notice that Elismira and Grinner, like, they stand to attention. They look like ready for a battle. Given that the last time plant-like creatures descended on Dawlishal, it was a bad evening for everyone involved. But the Hamadryder seemingly pays them no mind and instead focuses its attentions on the 5 of you, specifically you, Gardy. You spoke with Pfizer and Burunan, yes?
I tried. I spoke to them once.
The Hamadryder nods and, like, even being slightly lower down in the crater, like, its height is formidable. And, like, as the Hamadryder says this, the 2 of you are interrupted by Montague and Matteo kind of seeing Coraline on this floating piece of wood. And as they, like, panically rush over to her and start tending her, there is a moment where you look upon her and this looks like a funerary arrangement. And the Hamadryder sort of, like, watches Montague and Matteo kind of fussing over Coraline's form. And the 5 of you notice that there's this look of almost kind of confusion etched across the Hamadryder's face. It's a confusion of someone who is clutching at a memory that they can't quite reach. And then the Hamadryder says, "This one still lives. We have stabilized her. We have given her a chance. And now we return her to you. So we may begin talks. You who have spoken to the Titans, you have accomplished something that we have been unable to for many, many days. We are the avatar of the Titans, and yet we can no longer hear them. We would like to try to commune with them together."
I can try. I'll just turn to the other townsfolk and be like, he says his name's Dawlish.
As you say that, Montague is too wrapped up in checking to see if Coraline's alive, but Matteo stops and, "What did you say?" he says as he peers at you.
He's a friend, I think. His name's Dawlish.
Matteo furrows his brow and no, I'm sorry, my friend, you must be confused. Dawlish was our expedition leader. He died when we first arrived here. He sacrificed himself. He perished on the Isles to let us escape to here. This town is named after him. This is not Dawlish, he says.
It's what? Is her name Coraline? Coraline. Thank you. Well, that's what Coraline said. She recognised him.
And Matteo, this portly wolfkin man, sort of peers at the Hamadryder, and the Hamadryder peers back. And you almost watch this sort of flicker of recognition slowly begin to ignite. And Matteo's brows soften, his eyes quiver slightly, and "Oh, Dawlish, what have you gone and done?" he says as he looks the Hamadryder up and down. And the Hamadryder turns away and "Tend to this one. She requires further aid." And with its back, left arm, kind of hands off this kind of floating bed to Matteo and Montague. As those three Matteo and Montague excuse themselves, they disappear off, and you are left in inverted commas alone with the Hamadryder. Elismira and Bosun Grinner have a respectable distance. Brynja is relatively close to hand, Abe. She's looking suspiciously at this creature because it's she's also seen it in the recent past. And the Hamadryder kind of turns its attention back to you, Gardy. "Will you commune with us?"
Of course.
Well, wait a minute. Before you take him off. Who's us?
The Hamadryder turns to you with a look of confusion on its face. "Us is we. We are the Isles."
Wait, what?
Well, that's reassuring.
Is there more of you? Are you the only one of you? Or is there another of you? Is there multiples of you? Or is you just we?
We are all. We are both.
Clears that up.
Does anyone else know what he's talking about? Is it? I just want to. Is there more of him? Or
I think it's the royal we. It's the royal we. He is.
I think he's talking about him and the plants and the trees and the rocks.
He is the island.
And
all of the island.
You think he's like one leaf of a tree?
He was just like, "You young'uns, I have no idea what's going on."
This feels like the single pronoun conversation you had with the
No, in my day, we didn't have we don't own trees.
He's so old.
As Abe's just stood there, mind blowing, the Hamadryder returns its attention to you, Gardy, and it's odd as you watch it almost shrug off this leaf-like wing off its shoulder, like you would watch a nobleman shrug off a cloak, and it offers one of its right hands forward to you. In fact, it offers both of its front hands to you. We are the Isles. We are the conduit. With your prowess and our connection, we can commune with the Isles, with the Titans.
Perhaps, Cass, would you join us? Your knowledge and your power might come in handy.
Am I allowed?
The Hammered Rider turns its head towards you, and its back right hand is offered forward, so it's now holding 3 of its 4 hands for grasp.
I think for the first time since anyone here's really known her, she looks uncertain. And then she steels herself and she accepts the hand.
Which ability would you like to roll for this, Guardy?
Oh, for communion.
And I reckon for a hope, I believe Cass has some hope. We can do it as a you can do it as a tag team if you want, if you've got the hope, or we can do it as a help.
I have 2 hope left.
I have 2 hope. I don't mind spending them for a tag team. Let's tag team this bad boy.
Friend team.
Friend team. I'll use my instinct, please.
Yeah, if you want to do a tag team proper, I'm more than happy for one of you to spend 2 hope and the other to spend 1 in this moment.
Sounds good.
In fact, are you all right spending for the 2 for the tag team, and then I can add my spirit speaker experience on as well?
Sounds good.
Okay, so 0 yourselves off on hope, and then we'll do a tag team with an experience.
No more hope. Time to talk to God, baby.
What ability would you like to roll out, Cass, as well? Something to have a little thinky about.
Would it be knowledge?
I mean, if you're thinking about how do I commune with gods, so perhaps if you're basing this off any sort of religious, divine text, that would be a good shout. Your
instinct maybe
is your spellcasting trait.
Navigate.
So if you just want to raw dog this,
just get in there.
Okay, yeah. So absolutely, you can do an insight if you want.
Hopefully, this will add on my experience because it's gone a bit strange on my display here on my UI. Here we go.
Okay, so we've got a 22 with fear for Guardy, and crit. The big crit.
And I'd like to stressfully be fearless.
Well, would you... So bear in mind, it's a tag team, so you can choose which of the 2 to pick. So would you like the 22 with fear, or would you like the crit?
I think we should have the crit.
I thought we should get a crit.
You should have the crit. Was it a double 1 crit? It was a double 1 crit.
I was like, it's going to be a 1 and a 2, and then it was 1-1. I was like,
flying in the face of failure.
That's Cass.
Okay, off the back of a crit. So, as you take the 3 of the Hammered Rider's hands that it's offering forward to you, there is this rushing feeling that surges through your cores. it feels like the world is for. It's difficult to tell if the world feels like it's shrinking or expanding at a lightning pace. But you feel as if yourselves, you almost feel like you're rooting. And as you peer at the Hamadryda, it feels like it's a figment of the mind, but it almost looks like the Hamadryda is itself turning into this great ancient tree. Its roots reaching deep into the earth of the Titan Isles, and through it your senses ignite. You feel like you can hear, see, smell, taste everything that happens on the Isles. I'll tell you what you sense, and then off the back of a crit, we can both do some sort of like questions. You can ask me some questions, like clarifying questions after. If also both of you gain a hope, FYI, and clear a stress if you've got stress. You feel like where in one moment you feel like you're rooted to the ground, like these ancient boughs of a tree. Suddenly you feel as if you are soaring through the air, looking through the eyes of a bird, soaring through the clouds, seeing the islands down below. But soon it feels like the islands are rushing up to meet you, almost as if you're plummeting through the sky, like your world is contained within the inside of a falling raindrop. And your attention first turns to the floating mesa in the northeast of the island that you instinctively know, like you can feel the presence of Burunam. But I think more accurately, you feel the lack of presence. And in its place, you can see what almost looks like this raging wildfire spreading and engulfing the Isles. And perhaps this is premonitionary, but you feel as if you're watching the whole island begin to catch like dry shrub in the face of like tinder fire. And at the heart of it all, there is a darkness. There is an all-hungering darkness. And you feel like in the flames, you can see the face of this enemy. And it is a face you recognize as Ekso. But he is not as you knew him. He is transformed. He is transfigured. He is something both more and less than what he used to be. Your attentions are then flung to the other side of the island. You plunge into the dirt, into the cold ground. You feel yourself almost burrowing through the earth, looking for your answers, like a frenetic mole or an inquisitive earthworm. And in a place of divine cold and chill, you sense a faint but undeniable primal spark of life. And you know that Pfizer lives. She is regaining strength, but she lives. So in this moment, you're able to see the two. Well, you're able. You know that now that you know that Pfizer lives. Have you got questions for me, and or for the Titans, and or for the Hammered Rider?
Boy, do I.
I would also wager that so Gardy, in this moment, especially off the back of the crit, so bolstered by Cassandra's help, despite Pfizer being in this somewhat weakened state, perhaps understandably, given the fact that she's only recently been cured of this horrendous Kervothan corruption, you feel like if you wanted to speak with Pfizer, you can.
She's got a really sexy husky voice.
Hello! It's me, Louisa!
Oh,
Hello, you alright, babe?
Get out of my pub!
Can you imagine? No.
I feel like I missed an opportunity not shouting,
Get out my lair!
as you fought her last week.
Give back that portal sheet.
That glider!
That glider, that's my glider. I'm going to sell that at market.
So, in this moment of emotional importance, yes.
Deeply serious.
Who do either of you have a question for Pfizer? Or not even a question, just a statement.
I mean, I feel like Cass knows that there are important questions we should probably be asking this Titan. Like, how do you defeat someone? What is eating your heart? Can you help us? I think if there's like a sense of presence around them as they take this wacky journey, I think Gardy can probably feel Cass kind of like pulling ahead, pulling forward, just this desperateness of her, and she just asks out into the void, "Where are they?"
Have you had this discussion with Gardy? I don't think
I
you
feel
have.
like Gardy does know why
Okay,
Cass
Gardy
is
does know. Okay.
desperately on her one-woman mission plus Gardy.
Where? So Gardy, in this moment, like you hear, you feel like your and Cass's minds are almost melded in this moment as you soar across the aisles. So even though Cass hasn't stated it outright, you feel like you instinctively know, like you can sense where Cass's motives and intentions have come from. So you know what she's talking about. But this is a question for Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Where was the last time Cass? Where was Cass and her family the last time she saw them?
I think she never saw them vanish. She doesn't know what happened to them to see them vanish. I think the last time was just before she went off on another fact-finding expedition, which was very normal for her family. They are a family of very fervent researchers. I think Indiana Jones, but more annoying.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have been a very normal situation in sort of the family archives. And she would have just said goodbye to them, expecting to see them in a month or so, and then she would have headed off.
Okay. In which case, as you ask this, your mind suddenly feels like your mind feels like a warm, cozy home. And someone has just thrown open the door to the expanseless raging blizzard outside. Your world simultaneously expands to like a network of everything, and you feel so much smaller in the grand scheme of things. You feel like a small microcosm in this ecosystem of elsewhere. And perhaps in this moment, you both innately understand that is Pfizer somehow communing with other world spirits? Is there this innate natural link that binds them all together? The literal meshwork that is holding elsewhere together in the aftermath of the eschaton. And you hear these like almost animal-like calls and voices kind of rippling through this like ecology. And then you find, is it 2 or 3 family members?
Oh, it's many.
Are they all? Okay.
Oh.
Okay. You sense a cluster of familiar souls crowding around the intangible form of a world spirit. A rather small and delicate and nurturing spirit. One that seeks only to grow and thrive. Almost childlike and curious in a way, enjoying the attentions of the mortals that have discovered it. And then that childlike sentiment is replaced with this hunger. This all-consuming hunger. A hunger that you know is needed to grow and evolve and reform. But you acknowledge that there is something that caused this sudden violent change in this spirit. And you acknowledge that the darkness that emanates from this hunger is the same hunger that now lies at the heart of Burunam's lair. And Cass, you think back to moments before disaster. Sorry, moments after disaster. As Ekso's form drew itself back together and he stood to full height, as if none of the explosive devastation that he had wrought had just occurred. He rasped at you. What makes you think these were the first I'll consume? All you know is, as a result of the hunger, those familiar souls are gone. They simply vanished. You feel a sense of sorrow emanate from the spark that is Pfizer.
I think at this knowledge, Gadi will feel sort of like the presence that is cast kind of pull back and shrink down. Like she's trying to escape this information. She's trying to pull back.
Garda, you feel like you can feel Pfizer turn her attention to you. She's hoping you'll ask her something that'll make her feel better.
Will you be all right?
The response you get feels like a soft, a weak nod of the head, but is one that still contains determination. You feel this drive to recover, to recoup, to regain, emanating from Pfizer. You feel this yearning emanating from her as she feels that the connection to Burunan has been severed. She feels like someone that has lost her kin. You feel that mirrored, presumably, from Cass alongside you. Seemingly both to the same person.
Will you help us avenge those we've lost?
This time, the feeling, the sentiment you get from Pfizer is not confident. This is not assuring or assured. There is just this flicker of uncertainty. You feel the pain of the corruption that ran deep. You feel the depth of the wounds that need to be healed from. Pfizer cannot be sure she can help you. But you feel this sense of encouragement from her. You both feel this surging feeling that Pfizer knows you are capable, you being mortals with a capital M, are capable of incredible things. And she wishes you well.
Thoughts and prayers.
Awesome.
You got this.
Cass, I will say, as Pfizer sort of like shrinks back into a more hibernatory state, you're like you say you feel like you're almost trying to like pull away, potentially like trying to turn your head away from the truth, like what's happened, what you've been shown. And suddenly again you feel like you can see the Isles in their entirety, but not as a geographical site, almost as just like this tapestry that lays out in front of you. And perhaps because of your your sort of like recent powers post eschaton, you notice that this latticed network that kind of runs through the aisles, seemingly a connection of all the things natural and primal. There is a hole in them, in this network, a space of the aisles that seemingly it cannot penetrate. It has not dug its roots in. And you realize that that hole is mountain-shaped on the southeastern aisles.
Oh yeah, the mountain.
Oh,
Oh yeah, the mountain.
And in this moment, you acknowledge, because you realize you're for all intents and purposes seeing through the eyes of a world spirit. And whatever lies in that mountain is not of this place. But what it is, you are unsure. And with those questions kind of asked, I say Pfizer retreats back into what is effectively a cocoon as she begins to regrow. And the two of you feel yourself sinking back into your own feet at the side of the crater, and the Hamadryder releases your hands and slumps slightly. And as it picks itself up, the Hamadryder turns to you, Cass, and we are sorry. What's Griffin doing?
You mean, what's Griffin doing?
Get on the side of the crater,
Singing a little song.
wriggling.
It's got his little.
Griffin, you've just watched like Guardian Cass have almost has been in this like trance-like state, and perhaps, well, actually, when I say what's Griffin doing, I get unbeknownst to Guardian Cass and the Hamadryder, approximately an hour has passed.
Jesus. Oh.
What are we doing?
So yeah,
I think,
let's put some context in. What's going on?
You're getting a spot of lunch.
I kind of feel like probably Griffin, Cooper, and Abe have been standing there for about 10 minutes. And it's starting to just sort of get like a little bit uncomfortable. Just them waiting around, just kind of going like, do we know how long this is going to take?
It's not like
We
the
just
buffer of Cass and Guardy between us, so we're just
Yeah.
very awkward lads.
Really awkward.
It's like when the dads have to wait outside when they when
when
shopping.
Ooh.
Pub.
I mean, can we? I mean, should we go? I mean, is it nothing we can do to help, is there? Like,
If
No, I don't think we're part of the we. We're just us, aren't we?
Shayla
Startup sounds in the background.
would have 100% stepped forward after that 10 minutes, because I'm sure she would have been like, oh, it's been a while now. And she's assured you that if the three of you want to disappear off somewhere else, she can keep an eye on them. She's not going anywhere.
It's not that we
She's
don't
gotta be
care.
here.
It's just, we haven't really
It's a bit nippy out
we
here.
haven't had that much downtime for a long time. So it'd be nice to just go around the shops and see. Take these lads to my hut. Show them round.
Is there? Where would the three of you like to go in the hour or so?
pub?
Pub or do you want to come to Abe's hut and make you a cup of coffee?
Let's go to Abe's house. Yay!
Okay.
I
Yo,
bet it's
that's-
a fucking state.
Oh.
We are having a time to clean up, guys. But
In which case, yeah, how would you describe the journey from Dawlishal to Abe's hut? Abe Town.
Taking
Abe
it downtown to
To
Abe
A-Town.
I mean, quiet. I mean, I can't imagine that we're chatting much. I think Abe's just been like, I just want to go check, see my house is all right, and come if you like. I don't really care.
So we
And then
know
just-
that your hut is on the mound, and
Yeah, it
Dawlishal
is.
is on one of the lowest, most outer edges of
Mhm.
the mound. How high? Because we know that you've got a little rowboat, but how high up on the mound is your hut? Like, is it quite above sea level, or are you on the water's edge?
I think it's like how I envision it is, yeah, so it's certainly up on the mound,
Okay.
but kind of cliff face. How I imagine it is, it's just kind of like where you would naturally want to put a lighthouse, but there's no lighthouse.
Sure,
It's
sure,
just
sure.
Abe's hut.
And your fishing line has just got a really long reel, so you can fish off the cliff edge.
Yeah.
Is,
For him,
um,
it's just maybe
Okay.
some
Brynja
little
will
stone
first.
steps.
Brynja will come along if you invite her.
I'm not sure if Abe's ready to have her around his house. He
Fishing
hasn't
trip.
cleaned up or anything. But I mean,
Griffin, would you like to invite Brynja?
Yeah. Brynja, do you want to come with? Come and see how your old man lives. This is like the first time we've been, so it's all exciting for everyone.
Griffin is the fucking worst sweet boy.
Okay, in which case, Brynja sort of like her eyes, like open wide, and I'd love to. She says, like quite earnestly, and yeah, I can only imagine like Abe's eyes getting more and more sunken into his head. Okay, in which case, yeah, describe to me Abe's hut.
lavishly fit, no. It's incredibly sort of utilitarian. Not, I think, as you go up and through. So I kind of imagine it's like kind of winding up, and then he's got like his little like allotment style garden. So he grows a lot of bits and pieces. Obviously, towards the back, there's quite a lot of some kind of like tobacco growing in his own little private sort of garden that he's got. And then I think as you go into that, he can tell that he doesn't have visitors, as there's only one of everything. So there is one chair, well, he's got his mug, and yeah, it's just very, very utilitarian. Not a lot of stuff anywhere, apart from, I think, if you can see on the on one window, there is what would have been fresh flowers a few days ago. And I think the first thing that he would do as he's coming through his garden is pick some new fresh flowers and put them in his vase, take it out, and then put some new ones on. And then kind of just look around at the guys and his daughter, and be like, it ain't much, but
It's yours.
here it is.
Brynja, you notice like she stops at the edge of your patch, if you will, and like she kind of like you see her just looking backwards and forwards, taking it all in. And then Abe, you see her almost have like take a deep breath, and then she steps over the threshold into like your space. And Cooper, as you say, but it's yours, she looks up to you, Abe, and smiles. A fine and fitting kingdom, she says, like with a genuine smile.
Yeah. Well, you can see out over there, over into the sea from here. I have my cup of coffee. I sit here and I look down.
Don't you have goats?
Oh yeah.
Or are they just goats on the mound?
Oh, there's goats on the mound. I think there's just general goats on the
Sure.
mound
Sure.
that Abe looks after, and probably
Has Abe named them all?
all
what
of his.
does Abe name the goats? The very specific goats that he
Tell you
has?
what, based on Abe's current offerings for all the other critters on the Isles, this is going to be interesting.
Well, there's.
There's
Thing is,
yeah,
Abe
goats all look the same, don't they? They just
Abe has the same horns as them, doesn't he? I mean,
This is true.
But anyway,
Is it angry, like shouty Abe, little Abe,
yeah, they're all called
fuzzy
Abe.
Abe,
No, they're all.
Little Abe. Abe Junior.
Abington Junior.
I don't know what. I don't think you'd call them anything. Like, not names, but
Tell
they'll
you
be
what,
called like
wait,
ghosts.
We just
would
like,
be
here
called-
you, you get here.
You're
Right there, lads, you get here.
Amazing.
That goat's
So,
milk.
I'm almost imagining that these are the sort of mountain goats that are standing on near 90-degree inclines.
Oh yeah, they're like the cheddar goats. They're just
happily
there,
chewing, happily
just
chewing
like,
cud.
like defying gravity at all times.
Amazing,
um,
amazing.
And yeah,
I mean, what is the? Is there one defining? Like, what part of the hut is Abe most proud of? Or alternatively, what part of the hut that would catch Brynja's eye first?
I think I don't know how. Brynja would have still remembered her mother, and I think the thing that catches her eyes, you can see that there is clearly the little phone furnishings that he has have been kept from their previous home, so there are still maybe like a blanket that would have been made by her on his bed, and maybe some art that would have come from some embroidery or something that would have come from the village that she would have made. So there's still bits of her around that Brynja probably hasn't seen since her childhood that he would have taken with him.
In which case, yeah, Brynja takes a delicate seat in the hut and just sort of takes it all in. And Griffin and Cooper, as you I can only imagine Abe kind of ducks in to put the kettle on.
Yeah,
put kettle
a
on.
massive kettle.
And that leaves the two of you stood on this kind of cliff side, overlooking the bay of the Titan Isles. And you can see the isles stretching from sort of the eastern horizon almost all the way round to the western horizon all the way around to the eastern horizon. And on the eastern horizon you can see this mountain rising up from that southeastern isle. Are there any thoughts that the two of you have in this moment?
I think Cooper's worried about Cass. I think he's had to step away to kind of I think he would have just stood there and waited otherwise. In a way, it's quite nice to be taken away because all he would have done was worried standing there. But I think he looks at the mountain and then obviously it makes him think back again to Kafgan and Sorrowwind and all that stuff. It doesn't at the moment. It doesn't feel relevant. It doesn't feel relevant to what's happening. His concern is Ekso. His concern is what's going on, but he's also curious as to what it is that is apparently in the mountains that is so desperately wanted. Is it powerful enough to help them fight a titan? Is it that sort of element? Or is it something completely separate, like he doesn't know? And I think he's kicking himself that he doesn't know, and he hates not knowing, and it's making him frustrated. And I think Griffin can just probably see all different emotions as flicking through his face as he's trying to process the last couple of days. So much has happened.
I think with that, Griffin is going to put his hand on Cooper's shoulder. I think Griffin's going to find it difficult to kind of think what you may be concentrating on more than, except for just one thing. He's going to say, she'll be all right. Like, she's tough. Like, we've seen her. She can sort herself out. Like, we'll be there when she needs us. You'll be there when she needs you.
Yeah.
And she knows that.
Is there a particular moment in the recent past that's playing on your mind, that's repeating through your mind, Cooper, of an interaction between you and Cass?
Yeah, I think not long after the Pfizer, and they were heading back, a short rest or something, they had. And Cass got to talk about what was going on with Ekso, how that was going on, how that was making him feel. I don't want to speak to Cass, though, so I know that Cass is worried.
Just before you going on any further, Phil, I think your mic's going a bit weird.
Yeah.
So to tell if it was me or it was your
Yeah,
mic. I was just like,
I could see Dan sort of going like,
I think you're stuck in a bucket.
Oh no.
Oh no, that's better.
Oh,
You're
that's
back.
better.
There you go.
You're back.
As I put it really close to me, maybe that's fine.
No, the
Yeah,
other,
okay.
That's grand. So yes, in the immediate aftermath of Pfizer is what I got.
Yes.
I think when Cooper awoke from his vision, Cass was definitely holding him.
Yeah. And I think there was just like a flicker of that. Like he thinks about that and how she was there for him, and he just wants to be there for her, and he feels that. Like he'll like turn, think about that, and he'll turn to look at Griffin and be like, "I just left her. I just couldn't handle what was going on, and instead of being brave about it, I left. And it's taken all of this for me to face up to that fact. And I just don't want her to ever think that I will do that again, especially if it was that flipping Sunder Dragon that convinced me to leave, because I'm not doing it again.
Did you say this out loud to Cass? Or is this just a thought that runs through your mind?
This is what I'm saying to Griffin right now. So I'm thinking about the fact that Cass was holding me when we come back. And then what he's saying to Griffin is this. So.
I'm sure in the past you had your reasons for why you had to leave. Like, if you felt that they were needed or selfish, it doesn't really matter now. Like, you're realizing that you have a second chance. And some people don't get that sometimes. Like, if you know that you want to stand with her now, and like that's a gift not a lot of people get.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Thanks, Griffin.
Was there anything said between Cass and Cooper as you awoke being held?
Georgia, do you have anything to add?
I think there was like a moment between them of Cooper being able to see the worry and the terror in Cass's eyes before it became that kind of. She saw that he was, I imagine, like unharmed, apart from being flung around by a titan, obviously. And then it became that sort of customary annoyance with the relief, and then she switched to trying to dig with her hands to get to the titan, to talk to the titan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. In which case, yeah, Cooper, is that kind of memory, I guess, plays on loop through your mind as you kind of talk Griffin through what's going on in your head in relation to it. And, you know, accompanied with that frustration of not knowing what to do next, like where to turn next. As the two of you look over the sea, you hear a small trilling sound coming from your pocket.
It's time. I reach, and I imagine it is the sending stone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I activate it.
Speakerphone.
Oh yeah, it's on speaker. It's always on speaker.
New stone who dis?
But I'll probably just say to Griffin, like,
As you respond, as you answer this sending stone, there is a pensive silence for a few moments, and then you hear, "Hello, Cooper. Thank you for your prompt response.
said I would.
Circumstances have required some expedited action. Are you available for a job?"
Gonna have to tell me what that job is, buddy, because I've got a lot going on right now.
We can meet to discuss particulars, but in a nutshell, I have reason to get into the mountain on the southeastern isle. And as Kickfran's voice says that out loud, let's go for a quick break. So, we are going to disappear for 10 minutes. So we'll be back at 25-2, and we will, kind of pick up and go from there. Oh, all the heartbreak, all the feels. Right. Anyway, so thank you for watching. If you've been watching us so far, hit the like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the follow button if you haven't already. Join our Discord if you haven't already. Consider becoming a member or a Patreon if you haven't already. And we will see you in 10 minutes. Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello and welcome back to Explorers of Elsewhere Live, the Titan Isles, third campaign in the Explorers of Elsewhere series. Hi, my name is DM Dan, and I am thankfully, praise be to the powers that be, rejoined by Livy, Theo, Tim, Georgia, and Nate. Hello, 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 hello.
Oh.
And hopefully rejoined by you, our beautiful audience. Yes, thank you for joining in. If you're joining in, thank you to Witchlight for your kind words about the Bad Lads 2-shot. The characters were hilarious. they were choicey characters.
All of them were a choice.
They were definitely a choice, but no, enjoyed that very much. And I'm going to use this as peer pressure to get Nate to do more stuff in the future. Anyway, diving back into Titan Isles, we rejoin our 5 adventurers a short while after a sending stone call was answered by Cooper on a cliff of the mound overlooking the Titan Isles Sea. We now find ourselves, I think realistically it has to be in the Bountiful Parlay again. And Cooper, you find yourself sat in the same seat of the same booth that you were in not a few days ago, sat opposite the same kind of enigmatic Sanguivar man, still wearing a like a hood, a grey hood, with thick like eye bandages covering his eyes, like a thick blindfold, I should say, a dark teal tunic, and propped up next to him a long white-handled purple fabric umbrella that doubles up as a tapstick. However, unlike last time, well, perhaps unlike last time, would you have invited the other 4 to sit with you, / with the other 4 of you? How many of you are joining in on this conversation?
Yeah, I feel like I would have told everybody. I don't know whether Cass and Gardy are available. If they are available, they join. But like the whole thing with Cooper was, I don't keep secrets anymore.
Okay.
So like Abe is definitely there because he has told Abe. So it's actually up to Abe if he wants to come. But Abe knows about it. Like that was the whole point before. It was like, think Theo, think Cooper, think. So yeah, so I think it makes sense that everyone knows.
Sure. Okay. In which case, like, are all of you in attendance then? Like, are you all crowding around the other side of this table from this man called Kigfran?
I would like to make a suggestion.
Yes.
I feel like Griffin would actually be very cautious of Kigfran now, considering that he knows his connection to Sorrowwind.
Okay.
I would like to suggest that Griffin casts telepathy on Cooper, so we can have a mental connection together.
Okay.
So I have to spend a hope to do that.
Okay. Spend your hope. So Cooper, Cascardi, and Abe sat opposite Kigfran then? And kind of Griffin hiding out somewhere else?
Mm-hmm. I think Abe would want to be sitting on that table. Not on that table. Maybe on that table.
Cass and Guardi might need a bit of cooldown time, to be honest. Post.
That's why I was like, I don't know if it's like...
Sure.
Sorry, Josh, you're on.
Just the...
They're sitting at the next table over.
Big boys.
With a brandy.
Fair.
Griffin sat with you, but he's just eyeballing Cooper.
Okay.
So,
Abe's got back up.
Just sitting there.
yeah,
Who are you? What do you want with my boy?
Puffing your guns out.
Putting ideas in his head.
Thank you once again for your prompt arrival, Cooper. I always appreciate urgency when it comes to matters of delicate importance.
Mm-hmm.
As I mentioned through the sending stone, I have need of your capabilities to investigate and enter into the mountain on the southeastern isle of the Isles, the southeastern island of the Isles.
Mm-hmm.
I have reason to believe that this is not suitable music. I have reason to believe that there will be a number of challenges that would require skills that you own in order to bypass or overcome. And from my research, I understand that you are more than a suitable candidate to accomplish what we have in mind.
So what is it I'm looking for?
We believe that hidden within the mountain is and Kigfran sort of like thinks about it for a moment, like he's trying to formulate, like think of the correct word to use. We believe there is a vault of sorts within the mountain. We understand that the native keepers of the village of Riceville have been outfitting themselves with a strange marble-like material. We believe that this marble is mined directly from the walls of that vault. If our expectations are correct, there will be artifacts within this vault that my patron would be very eager to gain ownership of. But we understand that the danger of entering such a vault would be formidable. Hence why having an agent of your skill and caliber would exponentially increase the chances of success. I have calculated the odds, and I believe that with your cooperation, we are very likely to succeed. If your companions, and Kigfran seemingly turns his head in your vague direction, Abe, and it's kind of unnerving that he almost knows where you are, almost.
Mhm.
Like perhaps it's your heavy breathing.
Just the grumbling.
If we were to also be accompanied by your companions, I suspect that the rate of the chance of success increases ever more so. I would only request that your companions are discreet about our business.
So I have a couple of questions.
Of course.
Abe, if you have any questions, please state them.
Well, you go first, and I might see what you ask, and then I might have my own questions.
When you say we, I assume you're accompanying me and our companions. Is it just you, or is there someone else?
You are correct that I will be looking to accompany you into the mountains. Consider it a duty of professional oversight.
Right.
It will be myself. My patron is not present. I merely report back to them.
I see.
But I will seek Yes, I will seek to accompany you on this excursion. Excursion.
Okay. And what is it we're looking for? I know you're saying artifacts, which is all well and good, I understand. But it would be good to know what it is we're looking for.
I'm going to need you to make me a roll.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
If Abe wants to pop a hope to flex the guns to help.
Sure. Just trying to figure out. Do I? I don't know if I haven't got any hope. That's annoying. No, we would have. No, it's fine.
Abe's got a hope if Abe wants to help.
I have got hope. I would more than happy to
Okay.
aid.
So yeah, Liv, if you drop your hope,
Mhm.
and Cooper, that will give you advantage.
Okay. So I assume this is a present check.
If you're, pardon me, if you're sort of like convincing, like asking nicely, yeah, definitely a presence.
I mean, I'm not gonna use my strength. I'm not intimidating.
Abe is, but
Abe is, yeah. But I don't. I have +1 strength. I have +1 instinct, so it doesn't really matter.
Sure.
Presence. Sorry, presence. So
presence.
okay, and it'll be with advantage.
Mm-hmm.
It's just annoying. I don't have any hope. It's very annoying. Okay, I'm just gonna double check something because I have new skills. I'm not sure if I need to use hope to use them. So let me just double check one thing. Okay, come on, baby. Right. No, it's to do with being hit by an attack. So that's fine. Okay, right. Yeah, I'm just gonna roll this advantage and see where we get. Let's go.
Oh, before you go, I'm gonna say like, Griffin. I'm guessing you're sort of. Are you communicating this back to Griffin, sort of like in a way?
Oh yeah. Like if I'm saying it out loud in that way, I think I'm purposely trying to like make it very clear to Abe.
Yeah,
that's what it sounds like I'm doing, but I'm actually also reiterating to Griffin.
I think Griffin's going to be. You can hear Griffin playing softly in the background, just to sort of as sort of ambience in the building. And hopefully that will work as some rally if you need a rally dice.
Yeah, you got the rally dice if you want it.
It's a D8.
A D8 indeed.
All right. Let's see where we go. It's 18 with fear.
Okay. Kigfran, you see Kigfran sort of like struggling to. It's clear from his. Well, obviously you can only see the lower half of his face, but it's clear. Like you've been in negotiations, discussions like this before, Cooper. So you know that Kigfran is currently mulling over what. Like it's either what he's allowed to tell you, what he's willing to tell you, how to tell you, etc., etc. And Kigfran settles on, like, Kigfran places both hands on the table, like interlinks his fingers. My patron believes that the vault is of ancient origins, potentially dating back to the earliest of the Asavari civilizations. There is speculation, my patron has speculations that there will be artifacts, the precise form of which we do not yet know, will be prudent to add to our collections. Real quick, Theo, what was the question specifically?
what is it that we are looking for.
Sure. Okay. So whilst my patron is precisely uncertain what form this artifact may take, my patron is very confident that the nature of the artifacts will be largely unimportant. What instead is important is the power that these artifacts would contain. I will further add that whilst what we are seeking is somewhat particular, there will be many secrets and marvels within this vault that will, for all intents and purposes, be of no interest to us. Consider this as a additional payment, but any of those curios that we find that my patron does not wish to add to their collection we are more than happy to allow you and your companions to take for yourselves. I hear that the dangers facing the Isles have grown considerably over the past 12 hours.
Yep.
Perhaps we can then acknowledge that there may well be something hidden within these vaults that can aid you in any future and upcoming confrontations you may find.
Can I vibe check that? Because that feels very specific that he knows stuff that we've only just been discussing with the council, that they've only just found out. That does feel a bit, I don't know, odd.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, I'm going to try...
Chuck me a reaction check for insight, I guess?
Insight.
Instinct,
yeah, okay.
sorry.
Yeah. I'm going to roll it and hopefully use my rally dice if it's bad. We'll see.
Instinct or knowledge, but I suspect you'll want to use instinct.
Yeah, I have no knowledge. Okay. Cooper is thick as shit. Let's go.
Oh,
what's a crit?
Nice.
I think that's one of my first crits, I think. That's great.
Okay, so I think even though it's a reaction, I believe you get a hope back because a crit gives you a hope and clears the stress. So you're vibe checking.
Yeah.
You're vibe checking.
Yeah, because it does like, for me as a player, it does feel weird that he's just like, yeah, like it could really help with the things that you're doing, even though I don't technically know about those. Like that does feel odd.
Yeah. So you get the impression okay, so what you have cottoned on and what you're pretty sure your intuition is correct about is that Kigfran is not lying about not being 100% sure what you're going to find. But his following statements make it seem that whilst it's clear whilst he doesn't know what is specifically in this vault, and you're also 100% sure there is certainly a vault that he thinks he knows of. Whilst he's not sure specifically what's in the vault, you can't help but get the feeling that Kigfran seemingly has this almost... It feels like he has some sort of prior experience regarding this matter. Perhaps the way that he talks, the way that he operates, perhaps this isn't the first vault of this type that Kigfran has encountered. And perhaps what he has seen in the past, what he has experienced in the past, gives him some sort of idea as to what might be in this one.
Hmm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think so. Cool.
He, as you're vibe checking, Kigfran tilts ahead, and perhaps maybe he's you off the back of a crit. You also get that what he goes on to say is almost like it's not an untruth, it's not a lie, but it's like a truth designed to soften, to slightly misdirect the truth. And he says, from what we understand from the reports of the keepers on Riceville Nar, the marble that they have been mining is a curious material, natively magic resistant. It can be manipulated in such a way to channel formidable amounts of arcane mana. This marble has rarely been seen across the realms, certainly rarer since the eschaton. So perhaps, if the very walls are made of this incredible material, who knows what other secrets lie within? I suspect you will find something more than capable of helping your cause in future conflicts.
Cooper nods and he considers all this. Considering Abe has his new reliable at the table, and Cooper's also wearing bits of the marble, he's like, well, you kind of know that. Not that he's saying it out loud, but he's like, sure. Okay, so
I think
very
Abe
interesting things.
Puts the axe below the table, even though he sees that Kigfran's eyes are covered, but he doesn't really trust him, so he's just kind of pushing it underneath.
Abe, you 100% kind of get the feeling like I'm hiding my axe from a blind man. but there's this part of you that's like I feel justified, like it feels like this man's looking into my soul.
Yeah.
He's
and
weird.
like, Cooper's wearing marble, but Cooper, you're just like, does Kigfran know I'm wearing the marble?
Yeah. He's like, sure, okay.
Does it smell weird? Has Kigfran got a super sense of smell? Yes. So, do we have terms? I accompany you and your companions into the mountain vault. We explore it until I am satisfied that I have found the artifacts to return to my patron, and anything else you find in the vault belongs to you. Everything worth taking within the vault belongs to you.
Well, it's Abe, by the way. You might not be able to tell the difference in our voices. Wait. I know you want to come, probably to check up on us, but what's stopping us from just going over on our own without you? Like, what do you bring? Other than an umbrella.
Rest assured, I have a very particular set of skills. A particular set of skills that will allow us to bypass certain security measures that will have kept this vault unintruded until now. Consider this a symbiotic relationship. I require your aid in the vault. You will require my aid to get into the vault.
I await Griff. Like, I feel like again, like Cooper's like, okay, so you're offering X for. Okay, so you come with us. We go in. That's the terms. And then he says that out loud so he can get Griffin's response to see what Griffin wants to do. Because Griffin's his concern now, considering who the patron is.
Griffin will probably think back to you and say, like, whatever it is in there, we need to destroy it. No matter what.
But yeah, okay. I suppose we have some sort of deal then.
Kigfran nods and holds a hand out.
Am I going to get like this one of these magical deals? If I don't do it, I die. Right now, I'm getting this feeling. But sure, Cooper's done stupider things. He will shake. On behalf of myself, I will find this artifact for you. I'll be accompanied, but it is my turn to break and my turn to take.
As your palms touch,
Good.
a ring of red runes appears around your palms. And you watch as these runes spiral and turn like the mechanisms of a lock.
Mm-hmm.
And they coalesce into your hands, like into your palms, and as your hands separate, there is a red sigil, like a red runic sigil that floats in the air where your hands just shook. Consider this binding, Kigfran says.
Okay.
And I will spend a fair, just to be fair. Thank you for the suggestion.
Hey, as long as it's me, then I'm the one who gets the shitter if the others decide they want to break it, which is fine. That's what Cooper wants to do. Cool.
Would the chance to reintroduce Professor Abe to the world, would either of you like to do a reaction knowledge roll?
I have no knowledge. Let's go. Let's go. Professor Abe.
I'm
Let's
super
go.
Smart. Let's go.
It's the smart boys.
It's two smart boys.
So smart.
Just smart boys.
The freaking brain trust here they've come.
14. It's not bad.
Okay.
For 0.
Professor Abe?
10. Halfway to a thought.
That is definitely a sigil of some sort.
Oh.
Definitely a rune.
He whispers that to Cooper. You think that's a sigil, guys?
Because I'm looking over, would I be able to see it? Because I'm just beading over.
Let's go for like.
Yeah. I'm going to
Just
ask for
over the top of the booth.
disadvantage because of distractions and things in the way, and you're trying to be discreet. But yeah, I'd let you roll.
Could I?
Could I?
Could I use my lawborn community advantage? So I gain an advantage if it involves history, culture, politics, to just make it a normal roll.
Just equal it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Let that boy. Roll. Let's go.
Yeah. So normal roll. Have you got any hope?
No, I used it on
Yeah.
talking to Cooper.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's have a go.
So just a raw dog roll.
Raw dog roll. It's even worse.
Yeah.
You are very distracted.
You
Just like, what?
see this. You see this rune materialize like between Cooper and Kickfran's hands, and as you sort of like lean round to see what it was, Abe like leans in and just covers up obscures all of your vision.
Here, what's that then?
That's a sigil, that is.
Abe leaning over and going, "That's a sigil." Like, so that's what completely blocks off your view. Okay, secret red rune. Okay, Kickfran nods and I've recommissioned the sending stone so you can send me single pulse. Use it as a single pulse beacon. Prepare yourselves and your companions and pulse for me when you are ready to depart.
Blimey.
Whew. Well, a flutter. Oh, okay.
The journey may be treacherous, and Kickfran thinks about it. Given you seem to have a relationship with the pirates of a sort, Cooper, it might be prudent to approach them to see if they can expedite our journey.
Sure, I can talk to someone.
The mountain vault is relatively close to the northeastern shore of the southeastern island. Perhaps with their vessel they may be able to grant us a more direct landfall for us to make our approach, rather than through the jungle woodlands to the west of the mountain, which I understand is perilous to traverse at best.
Okay.
I await your beacon. Stop
Yes,
it.
boss.
Kickfran nods, finishes off his small glass of water, and then slides out of the booth and leaves. Do we smash cut to a later point, or is there discussions to be had at the table right now?
I feel like we need to gather together.
Sure. In which case, let's smash cut. Where do the five of you gather? And or if you're approaching the pirates, do you all gather in the parlay?
I was going to say, would we meet in the parlay?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which case, a short while later, Cassandra and Gardy arrive. What's the plan, Batman's?
I feel like Cooper reiterates everything that he's learned from Kickfran. Shows them the sigil. I'm sure it's just to make sure that I play fair, but we'll see. We'll see how that works out. Most important thing is, though, this vault might have something to help us with the Titan. So, also, we don't really want patron lad guy to get hold of said artifact, so that's something to also be aware of. But yeah, so that's what happened with us. Don't know what this is, though. Does anyone know what this is?
Let me see.
Sigil, innit?
Is the sigil on your...
I already told you.
Cass, if you want to knock out a knowledge reaction or something.
I'll grab his arm quite firmly.
It's like you stupid man.
Might as well have a gander.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No idea.
So 11.
Nope.
It is in fact
It's a sigil.
a sigil.
Yeah, that's
Like-
sigil.
You definitely understand this to be a binding ward of sorts. So it is, for all intents and purposes, the two like Kigfran and Cooper are now magically bound. It's arcane in nature. It's usually used. It's basically it's an enchantment that is placed on two parties so they can ensure that one of them doesn't like stiff the other. So you can effectively debilitate the other if they are in breach of the bind, in breach of the contract. So effectively, yeah, Kigfran has like if anything, like there's absolutely that level of ick that Kigfran has magically bound Cooper to do this task until Kigfran is pleased with the result to release Cooper from the bind. That said, Cooper, you've got the ability on the other side to be like, if you feel like you're going above and beyond what is expected of the bind, then like not doing what wasn't asked of you doesn't like set it off, if you will. If we're talking D&D terms, this is a Geas.
Okay.
Right, so you're bound to Kigfran and Ekso. Yeah.
Having a great time, guys. Great time.
I think with of the back of Cooper's 14 and Cassangardi's 11s, whilst you don't know
My 10.
you definitely know that the power that's, for a start, I guess, like, is it weird that Kigfran can cast magic? Like, he's never expressed magical casting ability up until this point, but the magic that binds two of you is surprisingly powerful. Cass/Gardy/Cooper, perhaps you worry that with this powerful arcane magic and a very repetitive remarks of my patron, there's a lot of horror stories that might spin out into.
Patron is in patron.
Yeah. Patron.
Yes.
Or patron.
Cooper, if you've fundamentally signed a deal with a warlock, you are in for a terrible time.
I mean, I did it. No one else. So
True.
Cooper's feeling like, well,
Taken one
I've
for
given
them.
you all. I've given all of you information that you now require.
You're
You can do with it.
welcome.
Is that what like Warlock's like? Is it like a multi-level marketing scheme? So he's bound to his patron, and now
And then he bound
Cooper
to
is
him.
bound to him, and now if Cooper binds to someone else, then
My
he'll
God, that's
get their
such a
profits.
great idea.
Yeah, if Cooper
for a
manages to
D&D
get like 4
warlock.
people sign up, he can
He can then climb the ladder.
get some
Get
little
some
devil
powers,
horns.
baby. I've already got those. Yeah.
No, I don't think you do anymore,
I
buddy. That's-
used to, yeah. That's a good point. Maybe I'll grow back. No.
I mean, I think Guardian's just going to be like, so let me get this straight. We're trying to stop a demigod, and you've just magically compelled yourself for a side gig.
Look, so pause. I assume that Cassangardi did mention before I went to Kigfran that there was something going on with the mountain. So that's why Cooper was like, let's do this.
Do you recall
But
that
also-
thing where Abe shook you
Yeah.
times and said,
Yeah. I mean, I would have thought Abe would have said, don't do
The
it, you
mountain,
idiot.
yeah, the
That's why he
mountain.
was sat right next to me. So, like, I did
It was
bring
like, I
Abe
want to
the
watch where this
conversation.
goes. I want to see what he does.
Hang on, was Abe the moral support that sat
Right.
there, watch you make a terrible decision, and then look at you and go, "Can't believe you did that."
Can't believe what a stupid idea that was.
Honestly, we leave him alone for 5 minutes.
It's fair.
Did Cassangardi discuss with Cooper? Discuss with everyone what they felt on their world spirit trip?
Or some of it, at least, if you didn't want to go into
They're
detail.
like, mountain sorted. We're going to have a little lie down.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, does anyone have any burning questions for Cooper or anyone else? As Elismira makes time while you're waiting for Elismira.
I think seeing this sigil on his hand that he's managed to do in the 5 minutes that she's not seen him, Cass will, when she sort of grabbed his arm to look at it and then realised that it was a sigil she didn't recognise, which is even worse in her mind, because how is there something she doesn't recognise? She'll kind of pull him closer and she'll say, "You better not get hurt. I swear, if something happens to you, Cooper..."
It's fine. It's going to be
I'll
fine.
desperately give Cooper the this is not the time for this eyes.
I'm gonna quickly pause things for a moment because Cassandra is well read.
She does, and she has sensing magical items in the way.
Yes. I will also, now that Abe hasn't bodied Griffin, I'm going to let Nate re-roll, because if this sigil has just reappeared, that will activate a new knowledge, like a new reaction.
So tell us what this does.
This time, Griffin can see it, so we can disregard that 7, and Cass, I'll let you roll a d6 to add to your 11.
Roll for anger knowledge.
Can I do well read again as well, please?
You can.
Yay!
And this, so you'll just get a raw advantage this time, because like you've just seen this sigil. Like effectively, you've Cass would have triggered the sigil to appear.
Nice.
$22 and an 18.
Nice.
Okay, scrap everything I've said in relation to Cass and Griffin.
How doomed am I then? Am I doomed?
As this sigil appears, Cass, off the back of your 22, you recognize the sigil. And it's... Well, I guess I'll let you tell me how you want to react, but you both just recognize the sigil. Cass and Griffin. And the sigil that gently turns in this vibrantly bright red. And Cass, for a moment, like you think, oh, that's a very, very similar red to like Griffin's eyes, for example. Let's say it's a bright red. The sigil belongs to one of the Asavari high houses. And the sigil belongs to House Antelir. A house that you understand. Well, a house that you both know once took residence in the city of Elysia. But when that city was lost during the eschaton, the house fell. And when Elysia emerged back into the world approximately a year ago, House Antelir had crumbled to dust. It is one of the lost houses, but it is also one of the most powerful of the Asavari. It was one of the most powerful of the Asavari high houses. It is said that House Antelir was one of the first houses to receive the blessing of the arcane magic from Akan, the betrayer. They were some of the first arcane mages. But the house is lost. The house is no more. The house is destroyed. And yet, clear as day, the sigil of House Antelir hovers over Cooper's wrist. So perhaps, Griffin, there might be a sense of... Is there a sense of relief? It's not the sigil you might have expected it would be.
Yeah, I think now definitely much more curiosity comes from seeing that sigil. I think he would have heard stories from people who would have come from Elysia. So that's why he's like, but he knew that like no one of House Antelia was still alive.
The last recorded leader of House Antelia was Lady Turia Valenmar. She disappeared with the city. She was traced out of the city during the war before Elysia turned its banners to support Aya, and with Turia's like exile, like her fleeing the city, the rest of the house crumbled, especially after the city just disappeared into the well, as the Elysians say, we disappeared into the void, and then they emerged 2 years later, so last year. But yeah, Antelia is a thing of the past. So, with that in mind, yeah, are there any burning conversations to be had?
That does not change Cass's reaction.
No.
One iota.
No.
It's just going. To be fair, he didn't say he was gonna do that when he shook his hand. I was there, and he didn't say he was gonna put like a sigil on him. So you know.
Cooper, how many times have you travelled with me? How many times have we made deals with people for information? You don't shake their hands.
I mean, it's done now.
Oh! And she sort of throws his hand down. She stalks off.
If we took it off at the wrists, would that get you out of it?
I mean,
Just in the off chance, in case, you know.
look,
The
it
real
wasn't.
kicker.
It's not the first time that I've chopped off a body part, so you know, sort of.
Thing is, it exactly.
I'm not against
phantom
it.
limb.
I'm not against it if things go sour. Okay,
Never said you
I'm
were
not
a
against
eunuch.
it. Anyway, I'm not
Wait,
go
surely
there.
it'll be your shooting hand.
Yeah, it is my
Probably not
shooting
the
hand,
best
so we
hand.
might not the
Oh.
best hands to remove, but when there's a will, there's a way. We'll figure it out.
I know this guy called Greg who makes pretty cool.
He doesn't
nice.
live in this world.
This world isn't ready for Greg.
So, yeah, if there aren't any other sort of like burning questions or conversations to be had, well, are there before we?
I think Griffin is just gonna take Cooper's hand and look at it a bit more closely, and be careful with this one. This is old arcane magic. This is potent stuff.
Okay. Weird enough that I've got Titan Killer in my head, and now I've got an old magic sigil on my head. Both apparently my fault, but the handshake was definitely my fault. I will accept this, but thanks. I'm just gonna go talk to Cass real quick, try and smooth things over. Can I try and find Cass, please? If she's stalked off.
Absolutely.
Where do I find Cass?
Oh, I might actually, just before you get out there, Cooper, I might just put a hand on your shoulder, and if it hasn't already been communicated to you, just be like, it seems like her family is probably gone for good, so be careful, Coop.
Thanks. And you can see I don't think this was communicated before. I don't think Cass is the kind of person to go, oh, and by the way, my family are all dead.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like everything else was the focus of that conversation. So you can see that sudden change of like, oh, and then a nod. Thank you. And then he goes to look for Cass. And if she's not, she said she's not too far away.
No, she'd be a short distance away, cooling off.
He will very gently tap her on the shoulder.
What?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just an idiot. You know I'm an idiot, right?
I said before, some things don't change.
God, you
Sorry.
mentioned... Go on, you first.
I shouldn't have yelled at you. It wasn't stupid. You were doing something brave, as always.
I wouldn't say that. I was just trying to get information, and made more sense to keep our enemies close than turning them away. If he is an enemy, most likely he is an enemy. Look, Cass, God, he mentioned you got some news, and I'm sorry.
I think I knew. I think I guessed, but I thought if I walked far enough, if I researched hard enough, if I shot enough things, I could find out a way for them to be fine. They just got lost somewhere along with everything else. But that's why you can't do that anymore, Cooper. You're the only one I've got left.
Okay. I'm sorry. Can I give her a hug? Give her a hug.
It's a bit like when you pick up a cat. It's like... and then she kind of relaxes into it.
Okay. You'll be all right.
And I think into the hug, she'll just say, it was Ekso. I think it was Ekso.
That hug gets tighter. We'll stop him. We better.
Oh, you bet we will.
Hopefully we'll find something in this vault that will help us, and it'll be worth this.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I think he'll give her a very gentle peck on the cheek when he lets the hug go, and he won't address it, and he'll just go back to the table.
Flying away like a night's breeze. Okay. Is there anyone that Gardy finds himself talking to in this moment, like this evening? So for all intents and purposes, we're going to we'll treat this as a your call, long or short rest. There's no Ekso clock anymore. That's ticked out, so you're not kind of racing against that clock. That said,
Dan, let us sleep, man.
There is a new.
Let us sleep, man.
There is a
Jesus.
new
Sleep.
timer, realistically, because you know that there is a dread flame
Yeah.
approaches. So you can certainly. You've got enough time. It's early enough that if you want a long or a short rest, I'll let you decide. But we'll do that like between the sessions, unless there's anything super important, which case we'll touch back on that later. But yes, in this moment, is there anything Gardy wants to do, or anyone that Gardy wants to speak to?
I think he's probably pretty pretty withdrawn at the moment. He'll happily talk to anyone who approaches him, but yeah, I think he's quieter than usual at the moment.
Okay. Well, with that in mind, is there anyone who's seeking out Gardy?
I think after Cass and Cooper leave, and Gardy obviously catches Cooper and is just like, by the way, Cass's family are gone. I think that kind of we go, oh yeah, we haven't really talked about what happened in the an hour of commune. So I think Abe will just kind of scooch up up towards Gardy in the booth, their usual booth, and just be like, right.
Gardy double takes Abe starting a conversation, potentially even about feelings. He's like, I don't know, Abe. We've tried so hard, but it's funny. It's like Cass and Pfizer, almost the same things that I thought had all the strength and the power to change the world, and now they're both fragile and broken and healing, and we have to fight Ekso again, but worse. I don't know what we're gonna do.
Well, I could only speak for myself, but we've had quite the trajectory. It's a big word for him. In the last, I've only known Alia for a couple of days, and we've come so far already, and we can't stop now. So I just gotta do what we've been doing, just one foot in front of the other, and keep going. For who else is gonna do it?
No.
And
We won't stop, but just hope for everyone on this island's sake that we can do something. Maybe everyone can. Sorry, maybe everyone can stay in the mountain. If there's a problem, there's anti-magic rocks in there or something. But well, you're right. We'll just do what we can.
I don't think you give yourself. You say Cass is the strong one, but I don't see anyone else around here talking to the gods and healing the land. I think you're the strongest among us. Well, not, lifting things, but...
No, that's definitely... We'll see. These things I can do, they're not... I didn't earn these. They're from the land, and if the land is cracking, I don't know how much longer I'll have left. Well, we'll do what we can.
Drink up. Put airs in your chest. Pushes him a large
Is there anyone that Griffin finds himself talking to? You have a catalogue of NPCs if you wanna. If you think any of those would be interesting or good to talk to.
Do we know where Mayor Coraline has been taken to?
Yes. Where might we surmise that she's been taken? Do we think there's anywhere in particular? Otherwise, it'll be like one of the houses that's been inadvertently.
Would it be the temple, I suppose?
Actually, that's a good shout, given Coraline's specific nature. Yeah. So, yeah, Griffin, if you like, the Sailor's Sanctum's just around the corner if you wanted to go visit Coraline.
Yeah, I think he's going to go to the Sailor's Sanctum just to see how she is.
Okay. In which case, as you approach, because it's getting to night now, you see Shayla is, in inverted commas, like closing up, and like she sees you approach, and like reading your face, like she looks like she's about to like close and like bolt the door, and then she just kind of smiles and nods, and then like leaves the door ajar for you. Renengar, bless you, she says, as she kind of brushes past you and then heads off into East Bay. And as you peer your head through the door into the shrine, you can see that sort of like the pews that were in a circle earlier have been rearranged into rows. Well, would have been rearranged into rows, bar the ones near the altar at the far end. They've been kind of spread aside to make room for this slab of floating like bark wood, upon which Coraline lays. And once again, you're struck with how it looks like this is like her funeral procession. The way that she looks so like calm and still and peaceful. But kneeling next to her form is the Hamadryder. And the Hamadryder turns its attention to you and like looks a bit curious, but then nods and then like returns its head back and sort of like closes its eyes as you approach.
How is she doing?
Oh, I've just broken the mic. Oh, just going to hold this for the rest of the session then. She is strong. She will survive. She is already showing signs of life. And the Hamadryder sort of like turns to you and sort of like nods its head towards Coraline. And as you glance over, you see Coraline's eyes slowly flicker open. Griffin, she says weakly.
You took quite a tumble.
Please tell me it was worth it.
Kind of. We cured Pfizer.
And Coraline, like you hear a groan as she sort of like shifts on this bed of flowers and like turns her head to regard you. Why do I get the feeling you're about to hit me with a butt?
Ekso already got to Burunan. I don't know the full details, but he's more stronger now. But we're gonna do something. We've got a plan. I think. Yeah, we've got a plan. We're going to do something.
Coraline, like, there's an intensity in her eyes as she kind of looks at you when you mention that Ekso is more powerful now. And she closes her eyes and sort of like turns her head away for a moment. Do you feel like you can do it? Do you feel like you could take Ekso on? Do you feel like you could defeat him?
I feel like the 5 of us can.
And Coraline smiles and nods. That is exactly why you're going to win. Ekso has become this black hole. He draws everything in and crushes it to nothingness. Once all is said and done, Ekso will be, as he always has been, alone. We have spent all of this time fretting over the world spirits. But remember that through our combined efforts, we willed those spirits into being. Through our combined efforts, we defied the will of gods. And Ekso is no god that I believe in. As long as you stay true to each other, I have every faith you will deliver us from this fate.
I will definitely try.
She smiles, and I'm hoping you'll do more than try, Griffin. I'm hoping you will. Because we're counting on you to do.
He nods, and he finds that such an incredibly massive ask that he's trying to sort of just try and feel and look strong that he's taking it on.
And Coraline sort of like turns, like rests her head back, and you notice like the way that her shoulders slump and relax. She's seemingly kind of drifted back off into unconsciousness. The Hamadryder, you notice, has just turned and is studying you in a somewhat unnerving way, but is contemplating you.
Look after her.
We always have. Hamadryder responds. Good luck. May the Titans watch over you.
Griffin will nod and just sort of take a big breath and leave to join the others.
Okay. In which case, as we reconvene and find the 5 of you back at the Bountiful Parley, the night is pressing on. It's getting surprisingly late at this point, and you can't help but wonder how much longer you need to wait. but then approximately kind of quarter to midnight, your table is approached by the two pirates that you first encountered on your first morning here. And as they look to the five of you, the lady says, "The boss will see you now." And you're led into that same back room that you were led into a few days ago. And the room is as dark and dingy as you remember it being. The light only, the room only illuminated by flickering candlelight, but you can still see the distinct silhouette of the patchwork wooden throne that stands at the far end of this room. And there is a reclining silhouette sat in it. At this moment, only a left leg visible in the light. And as the five of you enter and the door closes behind you, this figure leans forward into the light. And Elasmira looks to you and says, "I understand you are in need of a pirate ship." We'll call it there. Elsewhere.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. Baddie's doing baddie things.
Uh-oh. How screwed am I?
That's screwed
Very.
wheel.
Yes. Kickfran's voice echoes out. Cooper and his companions have agreed to the task. I have bound him at your request, lest there are any complications. But I feel that will not be an issue we need to worry about. I'm confident in their abilities to see this through to a successful completion. Soon, we will unearth the powers that you seek. There is a silence from the other end of the sending stone as Kickfran stares at the kind of glowing orb's shiny surface. And this isn't something that Kickfran is particularly surprised by. His patron is usually very quiet. But this time, as the silence gets louder, the voice replies, "Good. I look forward to seeing your results." And in a darkened library of sorts, with floor-to-ceiling windows, through which a sea of rolling clouds can be seen, and illuminated by the same blue glow that illuminates Kickfran, a figure smiles and nods as the blue glow begins to sputter and fade. And we find, illuminated in the dying glow, a dark-skinned Sanguivar woman. Her hair cut into a neat bob, expensive earrings hanging from her ears. Sat in a wheelchair, a blanket over her hands. And as the orb stops glowing. It levitates back. It is carried away from the sitting figure, the figure in a wheelchair, and placed back on a pedestal. And Lord Sorrowwind turns to the patron. I trust that your little escapades will not interfere with my plans, Lady Nephene, Lord Sorrowwind asks. And Nephene Valamar of House Antelier smiles. No, I don't think they will at all, she says, with a smile, as her attendant takes the handles of her wheelchair and wheels her out, careful not to rock her paralyzed form. Congratulations, everyone, on completing episode 15. So, we are off. We are well into the final act. We're on the. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. We're on the home stretch, and it's all to play for. So, you're going to the mountain. Who'd have thought you were going to the mountain, eh?
Who thought we would have ended up there? Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So, yes, apologies. I'm just going to be more freeform now. I'm holding the mic. So, yes, if you enjoyed it, make sure to, once again, hit the like button, subscribe on YouTube, follow on Twitch, join our Discord if you haven't already. It's free to join. If you really, really enjoy this, consider becoming a member on YouTube or a patron on Patreon. It's very cheap. It's only a couple of pounds a month, but you get access to loads of like extra stuff that we create along the way. But even so, just joining the Discord, you'll have access to things that we aren't necessarily hosting on YouTube, such as the sort of like the downtime discussions, like the campfire chats, the first one of which has already gone up between Griffin and Cooper, that took place at some point in episode 12. So, if you are wondering who on earth this babe in the wheelchair is, consider watching through some of our previous campaigns, and I'm sure an answer will materialize at some point there. And judging by Nate's reaction, you would be doing yourself a disservice if you didn't find out. So you could react just as level-headedly. So, with all that said, let's start the outro. Thank you, everyone, for playing. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And I reckon we will see you next Monday for the next episode.
Yeah.
Okay. Take care, everyone.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.